Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Logan and I'm one of the leaders here at Called. And I'll be giving you the message for today. But before we dive into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who joined us for our Easter celebration last week. It was a blast. I mean, we had tons of games. We had an Easter egg hunt. We had worship, GWAM, message. We had pizza at the end. I think there was about 60 of you guys who joined us, and so we really appreciate you guys coming out. We had fun, and we just can't wait for our next all together event. But with that out of the way, hey, we are continuing into our series called The Line. And if you guys joined us the last few weeks, you guys will know that this series theme is based off of doubt. And so with that being said, I just want to give you a heads up that if you know who I am, I'm usually joking around, being goofy, but this message is going to be a little bit serious. All right, so turn to your neighbor and say, it's going to be serious. It's going to be serious, okay? I'm just giving you a heads up, giving you a warning, all right? Because doubt is a very serious topic. And so today we're going to be talking about doubt, but we're going to be talking about a doubt specifically that comes from disappointments, a doubt that comes from unmet expectations, and a doubt that comes from just having bad things happen to us that we just don't know why. And I believe that we all have experienced some sort of disappointment and some sort of, time that we had an expectation for something, but it just wasn't met. And sometimes those hardships, those disappointments can be so bad, so traumatizing, that it can cause us to question God, and it can cause us to fall into doubt. And today, I want us to kind of go into the Bible, and I want us to look at a person that I believe experienced this type of doubt, a doubt that came from disappointment, and his name is John the Baptist. Now, just to give you guys a very brief description of John, his sole purpose in life was to direct people to Jesus. All he knew in life was that he was there to make a way for the Messiah. That his goal and his calling was to turn people's eyes to the Messiah, turn people's eyes to Jesus. In fact, when John baptized Jesus, he even shouted out, hey guys, listen, this is the guy you're going to want to follow. He is the Messiah. He is the Son of God. And so his life was all for Jesus. But fast forward in John's life, he ends up in prison. And I don't think I need to explain why that's a bad thing. I mean, I think we all can agree that prison and jail is bad. And John was in there. And when John was in there, when he was imprisoned, I think he started to doubt. He started to question Jesus. I think his thought process was, hey, why did this happen to me? My life was all for the kingdom, yet now I'm stuck in prison? This shouldn't happen to me. And I think he started to doubt, hey, is this Jesus guy even the Messiah? Was my life a waste? Is he even the Son of God? John began to doubt. John doubted because he didn't think he deserved to be in prison. He didn't expect to be in prison. He was disappointed that he was there. And because of his disappointments, because of his unmet expectations of what Jesus could do, he started to doubt. I think oftentimes we might fall into that. That disappointment, that hardships in our lives cause us to doubt. Jesus, are you even there? Are you even real? And John had this doubt build up to the point where he sent his disciples to find Jesus and to question Jesus. In fact, John sent his disciples to Jesus, and when those disciples got to Jesus, this is what they said. They said, hey, Jesus, John sent us, and he wants to know, are you really the Messiah, or should we be waiting for someone else? Really, John brought his doubt right to Jesus. John was questioning Jesus. Are you really the Messiah? Are you really the Son of God? Well, Jesus being Jesus, he answered him. And I'm going to pick it up in the Bible in Matthew 11. This is going to be verse 4 through 6. And this is Jesus' response to John's doubt. This is what Jesus says. He says, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me." I want to say that one more time. Jesus replied, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me." Man, Jesus had some words for John. And I love that last part. It says, "Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me." Just raise your hand if you want to be blessed. Like, raise your hand. Like, I think everyone's hands should be raised. Like, I don't know who in the right mind wouldn't want to be blessed. Like, I want to be blessed. And so Jesus makes it very clear. Blessed are those who don't stumble. What does that mean? I think Jesus is saying, blessed are those who don't trip. Don't trip. Turn to your neighbor and say, "Don't trip." That's right, don't trip. What do we mean, or what does Jesus mean by this? He's saying, blessed are the ones who don't question. Right? John was in this questioning mode. Why does this happen to me? I don't deserve this. God, are you even there? God, are you good? Is Jesus even who he says he is? John was questioning. And Jesus tells him, hey, don't stumble. Hey, don't trip. And I'm here to tell you today, when life hands us disappointments, when expectations aren't met, don't trip. Don't question Jesus. And I love that Jesus first starts off his reply with all that he's doing. He tells John, the deaf are hearing, the blind are seeing, the dead are raised to life, right? That the good news is being spread. And he's not saying that just to brag to John. No, he's reminding John, listen, I know it's tough for you, and you may question if I'm there, but I want to share with you what's happening. I want you to know that lives are still being changed, that miracles are still taking place. That, listen, I'm still at work. Don't question me. Don't trip. Just know that I am still at work. Okay, don't trip. And I believe that there's kind of an automatic response to not tripping. And I think it's this, that we shouldn't trip, but we should trust. So don't trip, trust. Say that out loud. Say, don't trip, trust. Now turn to someone next to you and say, don't trip, trust. All right, I want us to get that into our souls, right? Don't trip, trust. Don't trip on the obstacles that life gives us. Rather, trust in who? Trust in Jesus. Don't trip on those disappointments, those things that might cause us to doubt. Don't trip on those. Rather, trust Jesus. Why should we trust Jesus? Because we have to understand and we have to believe that Jesus knows best. That's quite a simple statement, that Jesus knows best. We have to understand that Jesus understands everything. So we may not be all-knowing, right? But Jesus is all-knowing. We may not know why things happen, but Jesus knows why things happen. And so if he's all-knowing, we can put our trust in him, saying, hey, God, or hey, Jesus, listen, I don't understand why these things happen to me. I don't understand why I have to go through this, but I understand that you know why. And so if you know why, and you know what's best for me, then I'm just going to trust that you're still in control. Looking back on my life, I was fortunate enough to travel to Disneyland multiple times in my childhood. Every time, all my father needed to tell me was, hey guys, we're going to Disneyland. And we said, okay, yes, cool. Like, all right, we believed him. We trusted him. We didn't have to worry about the process to getting to Disney, right? Like, as kids, my siblings and I weren't like, all right, okay, but what day are we leaving? Okay, what airlines are we taking? What time is the flight? How much was the flight? Do we have enough money to pay for Disney? Okay, once we get to California, what rental car are we getting? Are we gonna be staying at a hotel or a family member's house? Like, we didn't worry about the process. All we knew is that our Father said we're going to Disney. So if my dad said we're going to Disney, then you best believe we're gonna go to Disney, right? We didn't have to worry or understand everything. All we had to understand is that our Father knew how to get there, knew what it took to get there, and He was gonna get us there. And so with that being said, friend, listen to me very carefully, that this is just like how we should approach our struggles and our hardships. That, listen, we're not gonna understand how and why things happen. All we gotta understand is, hey, listen, if our Father up in heaven tells us that He's for us, that He's good, that He wants to bless us, then you best believe that I'm gonna trust that I don't understand everything that happens to me, but I just know that, hey, listen, He understands why, and so I'm gonna trust in my Father. If my Father said so, I believe it. And I just want you guys to understand that Jesus wants to bless you. Jesus has a plan and a purpose in your life, and hold on to that promise. Trust that Jesus has your promise. Don't worry about the process to get there. Just know that His promise is for good, and His promise is for us. Don't trip, trust. And I want you guys to know that I'm sharing this message with you in a place of hurt. All right, I'm just gonna be very transparent with you. Recently, I have been thrown into situations that could have easily caused me to trip, to doubt Jesus. If I'm honest, recently, my expectations weren't met. That people hurt me, that I felt broken. And those were the situations, and in those moments, I could have tripped. I could have doubted God. I could have questioned God. But then I remembered that I truly believe that Jesus knows best. And so rather than tripping on my hurt and my pain, I said, God, I'm not going to trip on this, but I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust in you, Jesus. And so I share that not for you to feel sorry for me, but I share that to encourage someone today that if you're watching this and you're experiencing obstacles, and if you're experiencing a time in your life that you feel like you want to doubt God and you want to start to trip, can I encourage you that you're not alone in that? And can I encourage you to choose to trust rather than to trip? To choose to trust that Jesus is still in control and not to doubt in His goodness. And so, friends, as I close out this message, can I just remind you that it's not if, but when we face disappointments. It's not if, but when we face hurt and pain. That we're going to experience all these things, and they're going to cause an opportunity for us to doubt and trip on God. But can I encourage you to not trip, but to trust Jesus? In fact, I'll even go further to say this, that in those moments that you feel like tripping, you press into Jesus even more. That in fact, your trust grows in your tripping moments. That rather than choose to trip, you're going to trust. And I have confidence that Jesus is going to make a way, that His promise for our lives is going to be fulfilled. It may not be how we wanted it to look like, but we got to understand that He's working for us, and all He wants for us is His best. Again, don't trip, trust. Well, Called, I hope you enjoyed this message. I hope you got encouraged in some way. But at this time, why don't you close your eyes, bow your heads, as a leader closes you out in prayer.